Other people have been coming in.
Okay, great. I have something to tell you.
Oh, well, we're going to be better to text me to my phone directly or call me after 4 o'clock because this is a live recorded thing.
Oh,
So the
oops.
whole world who can go into YouTube
Okay,
so starting in just a minute. So,
okay.
but I am looking forward to hearing it. Okay, but we're not done. I can't do that yet. My YouTubers are okay, but my people in the room don't have visibility yet. So the first thing I need to do is get the thing going for them. Yeah, but do. Okay, then we can do this. Okay, so it is just a couple minutes to 3, so I'm just going to give people a chance to gather. I've got 2 of you on Zoom. I've got 3 of you in the room. Hey, and we've got a screen display issue still. So let's figure out what's going on with my screen display problem. Did you guys ever even see it when I started to cast it?
Yes.
Forget. No, not you, Cynthia. I mean the people in the room live here, did they ever get to see it? Did it show up? No. Let's hope it connects now. There we go. Okay. All right. So Cynthia, you see the title slide?
Yes, how to commit to your one thing.
Yes, great, great, great. All right, so we'll start in just a minute. I'm just going to give it 1 minute before we start. Victoria, could you do me a favor before we get started? Could you go to my desk and bring me my big black bag? Okay, we're going to start in just a moment. 1 moment, please. Oh, I didn't need the blue one. Thank you. All I really need. Yeah, no, no, thank you. Okay, I have one more favor. No, not right now. No, what I want you to do is plug him into the wall over there. And I'm just going to turn off the sound. So for the next hour, he doesn't bother me, but he's going to charge. All right, welcome, guys. We are going to talk about how to commit to your one thing. So I apologize, people on YouTube and Zoom. When I look away, I'll be looking at the screen here in the office. And if I look this way, I'm talking to the folks in the office. So I'm not meaning to be rude. This is one of my favorite classes to teach. And so I'm really excited to be here with you all today. Here's what we are going to talk about in the issue of commitment to your one thing and time management. What is it like for us as real estate agents? That's what I want to talk about first. Then we're going to talk about success. What does success look like for us in terms of time management? We're going to go over the 80-20 rule. We're going to talk about efficiency versus effectiveness and the one thing rule. I'm going to share with you some tools for success. We're going to talk about some myths and misunderstandings about time management, and then we're going to summarize. That's what we're going to do today. So the real estate scenario that we have is that we have an environment where we have lots of short distractions. A text message comes onto our phone. Someone asks us a question. We get a Instagram ping. That we have lots of that. And because we need our phones so much to run our businesses nowadays, we can't avoid them unless we turn off all the notifications completely. We just can't help it. It might be a lead, right? So that's a problem. We're working from home now more than we ever used to. In the old days, most real estate agents did their work at the office or with clients. They rarely worked from home. It happened from time to time if they were experienced and well off and had a home office where they could meet clients and do work. But, people didn't want to be at home. They wanted to be close to the office where all the other agents were. But now, thanks to COVID and thanks to changing work habits, we spend more time at home. Another thing that makes us different is that we are our own boss. In real estate, we don't have a boss. There is nobody saying to us, you have to be at the office at 10 a.m. And if you're not at the office at 10 a.m., I'll fire you. Right? There's no one saying, if you want to work for this company, you have to go to this meeting at this time and that meeting at this time and do this and this and this, and here's what you have to do. No, it's all on ourselves. You choose to be here. You chose to spend this time with me doing this class. Those of you who are live, whether you're on Zoom or you're on in person, you made a choice about how to use your time. So that comes with its own time management challenges, right? Because you decide. It's not like someone's made the decision. You have to be at the office from 9 to 5, 5 days a week. Well, then decision's made. You're a prisoner of the company. During those times, you do what they say, right? And they give you a lunch break, The other thing is, as real estate agents, we're accountable to us. We're accountable to ourselves. Maybe we have a spouse or a partner that we want to be accountable to as well. But really, at the end of the day, it's all up to us what happens and what we do. And I have met very few real estate agents who do not struggle to be organized and manage their time effectively, no matter how diligent they are. This is a hard thing, right? So that's the environment we're facing. By the way, if you have questions and you're on Zoom, just pipe up, just ask the question, and in the room, just raise your hand and we'll stop. So what we're going to be talking about today are ideas from the book, The One Thing. Who's read that book? I know you have. Have either of you read it? Not yet. All right. Cynthia or Elena, have you read The One Thing book?
I have not.
Okay. It is available at the office. It's also available on Amazon or on Audible or Kindle or those places. This book is a remarkably easy read. It is not about real estate. It's about time. And you can use this book through mindful, thoughtful practice. You can actually change the course of your life. So this is a great book. Very easy read. So we're going to do a scavenger hunt, primarily for the people in the room. Okay, so I'm going to give you guys a list. You read the list, collect stuff, and let's see who gets the most points. I'm going to give you, 2 minutes. You can leave this space, but be back in 2 minutes. Here's your list. How many points can you get in 2 minutes? It is, go for it. See what you can do. Cynthia, you can play. Elena, you can play at home if you want.
Okay.
Just keep track of each one and do what you can. Or not.
I didn't get it.
Yeah, and I didn't get it.
You didn't get what? Just do that. Get those things. Collect. How many points can you get by collecting the items in this list? It tells you the item to collect and the points. Get them. Collect them. Go find a pen. Go find the book right now. Here, from your purse, from your wallet, from the office, whatever you want to do. Go find things. Yes. Go see what you can do. I'll give you 2 minutes from now. We'll recollect at 10 after 2.
Can she take that role? Or one person?
No.
Yes.
Select what you can. Hello. Oh, that's funny. Where does it say that?
Classmate. You're not classmate.
What are one classmate per person? Yeah.
Cough drop, salmon, perbil or coin, lipstick. Yourself in the
Just do the best you can. It's designed to be fun.
paper clip. I don't have a. Do I have a paper clip? Yeah, I do. Coffee cup.
I just give it away.
Yeah, you did.
It's lovely, thank you.
Have you seen this before? Yes.
Every time you do that,
Cups. You gonna check it?
it's like you want to post. I don't know. The box-
You know, it's always, well, some more.
So Cynthia and Elena, this is hysterical. They're running around here trying to collect things. It's really funny.
Oh, selfie, huh? Oh my goodness.
Yes, trying to run around the house and find as well.
You don't have to get too crazy about this.
I'm gonna.
Okay.
Okay, we're gonna stop. Okay, we're gonna stop. Count up your points.
Okay. So 1, 2, 3. Wait,
Count up your points. Count up your points.
4.
Count up your points. And then I'm gonna go around the room. You're all gonna tell me how many points you got. I'll give you a couple minutes to count your points.
6, 7, 8.
There is method in this madness, by the way.
10. 10, 10, 10. Where's sunglasses? 11. Coffee cup.
Also one.
12. 12 points.
I think 8.
Elena has 8.
I have 12. I have 12.
You got 12 points?
Yes.
Okay, you beat Elena. Jack, 24 points.
Woo.
54.
What?
Something is still counting.
Okay, 1 for the almonds.
For that.
Each.
Well, it's almonds in plural, so yeah, but the pens are 1 each. Okay, all right.
No.
So she wins. Well done. Victoria run. Now, why did we do this? So if I had taken out my camera and taken pictures of myself and just click, 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 and I called it the one thing pose, I would have had over 100 very quickly. Why is that important? Why is it important? Because notice that the point rankings were different for each of these things. And it's far better if you had some $100 bills, as certain people had, they were worth 20 points. That's a lot. Taking a selfie with a classmate, you could have had 80 points right there, 60 points in the room, 60 points in the room right there, because you could have done 40 points, sorry, 40. Yeah, sure, right? Family member or classmate, it could easily be a colleague. It could say colleague there. The point is that why chase lipstick and chapstick when you could do selfies or use $100 bills? Not everything matters equally, okay? You have to pick your spots. All right. So, on the same idea, what is the one thing that you could have done in that contest such that by doing it, everything else in the contest would be easier or unnecessary? Taking lots of selfies. Would have been done in 3-4 minutes, you would have been at 800 or something ridiculous, right? It was worth 5 per picture. So you do 20 quick selfies, you're at 100 already, right? And you're done sitting here twiddling your thumbs while everyone else, and you could be more productive doing other things, right? Take picture striking a one thing pose. Left thing, whatever.
Oh, okay. I thought there was.
One thing. Oh, two things. One thing.
No, related to the book.
It is related to the book. One thing. Or you could have had the book and had a picture of it. Anyway, the point is not everything matters equally. So let's keep going. What is the one thing you can do such that by doing it, everything else will be easier or unnecessary? There are a lot of things going on in your life, guys. You have a one thing for every one of these things. Finance, spiritual, physical, personal, key relationships, job, business. We're going to be focusing today on business. There's also the 80-20 rule. 20% of the effort leads to 80% of the results. That is true in so many contexts. And in the book, they talk a lot about that. Do you guys know that 5% of agents do 95% of the business by volume and units? It's the same idea, okay? But what we're talking about here is your time. It is 20% of your time that generally results in 80% of the results. So what the heck is going on with all this other time that only leads to 20% of the results? So what is your 20% work? So in each of these spheres, what moves forward your goal in life? What is the one thing that moves forward your business success more than anything else? What are the activities you should do versus the ones you could do? How much of your time is spent doing this 20% work? So, question for the room and for Zoomers, what is the 20% work of a real estate agent? Yes, lead generation. That is the 20% work of a real estate agent. It is the one thing that we do such that by doing it, everything else is easier or unnecessary. You hear me?
Yes.
Good. Do you still see the screen?
Yeah.
Because I'm getting error messages here. Okay, good. All right. So that's right. Another concept we want to go over is the idea of efficiency versus effectiveness. So for your 80% work that is not lead gen, you want to be efficient. You want to get it done fast and smart. Perfection is the end. Do not spend 80% perfecting your flyer or your postcard or your social media post. Don't spend 80% of your time on that. Make it efficient and do it faster. Okay. It may not be perfect, but it'll be adequate. It's not driving your business forward. Okay. On the other hand, when you're doing your lead gen, you want to be effective. You guys have heard me talk over and over again. If you're going to spend of lead gen, you should talk to at least one person, ideally 3 or 4 people. Otherwise, you're not effective. We have this conversation in class. So you want to be totally focused on it when you're doing your one thing, and you want to consider it a must do every day. We've talked about that too. If you put it on your calendar, if you it's an important part of your work, even after you get clients. So which graph looks more like you in terms of how much you do your one thing versus an ideal? If you had the time, could you do half a day every day of lead gen? So we now want to think about, how do we solve the problem? How do we make our time work for us so that we can spend more time doing lead gen? So the question is, what are your challenges right now with time management, and what techniques are you using to be more effective with your time? So does anyone want to share what your challenges are with time management right now? Anyone struggling with their time? Or do you guys have it all figured out maybe?
I don't know.
No. I'm sorry.
Me under effective for me for the lead gen. When you're more open house or more events.
I'm sorry, I'm having a problem with my Zoom. Can you hear me, Cynthia?
Yes, I can hear you. Good.
And you can still see the screen, right?
Yes.
Okay, and you see the discussion? It says discussion, what are the challenges?
Yeah, but you have another box covering part of the discussion.
Yeah, my Zoom is misbehaving. It says, what are your challenges right now with time management? Things that are making it hard for you to get everything done in the day.
Okay.
Anyone having trouble getting everything done every day? Yes, Victoria.
Say for me, maybe the big challenges is like to put all together my work, my business, and my family, and find the right time for everything, and to be happy with everything.
Yeah.
Uh-oh. Oh no, what happened? Uh-oh. Yeah. Mm. Christine. Christine. Okay, you're back.
I'm sorry. I'm having some Zoom problem. I don't know what happened there. All right. I'm back. Sorry. All right. So what we were talking about is challenges with time management. Can you see the question now, Cynthia?
Yes, I can see it now.
Okay, good. Somebody just wants to join. Let's see what this is. Abel. Okay. All right. So what are your challenges with time right now? And Cynthia, I was asking what you struggle with time management.
My struggle is just doing it because I'm new. I need to get out of the mindset that because I'm new, I can't do it. I can do it. I just need to go ahead and do it.
Right. So there is a mindset issue around how you choose to spend your time, and that
Right.
does impact your effectiveness in your day. And I
Right.
think that you're brand new, and so you're going to be learning about the real estate stuff, and we'll give you a lot of time to juggle because there's a lot of assignments in your first month or so.
Right.
But let's talk a little bit about some of the tools for success.
Okay.
The number one tool that I recommend you all use is a calendar. Okay. You can use, I recommend a digital calendar, but some people still use a manual physical calendar. That's okay. The reason I like digital calendars is because they're far easier to edit and change, color code and organize and find stuff on. So I recommend that that you consider using a calendar. How many people in the room are using Google Calendar or Apple Calendar? All three of the people in the room. So if you're not using a calendar, guys, on Zoom, please think seriously about using one of these calendar tools. That will allow you to do time blocking, which we're going to talk about next. Another tool success is your 1-3-5. So what the heck is a 1-3-5? When you did the business planning clinic, you used a 1-3-5 on one of the tabs to establish your marketing strategies. If you chose to do open house strategy or you chose to do social media strategy, we made a list of things that you needed to do as part of the strategy. So that is a kind of a time management tool because in each level, there's a one thing. So let's suppose you said you wanted to be really good at networking. And we talked about the things that are most important to do to be successful at networking. Another way of saying that is, for each one of those groups of lead gen activities, we said, what is the one thing we need to do that will make everything else easier or unnecessary? And the very first thing on all of your plans is have a plan, right? Develop, no, well, that wasn't the first thing, but it was on there. Have a plan, make a plan so that you're not just guessing, right? Another tool is the 411, which is basically, what are my goals for the year? What are my goals for the month? What are my goals for the week? That's a planning tool. There are apps on your phone to help you create good habits. If your job is to do 3 hours of lead gen every day, you can use a habit forming app to check off that you did the lead gen that day. If your one thing is to do door knocking every day or 3 days a week or whatever, you can use these tools. These are just two of many, many online tools to help develop new habits. It sort of gamifies it. It makes it more like a game and helps you to use your own psychology to overwhelm your. It takes a long time to develop habits, and that's why these apps can be helpful. So you need to be self-motivated and you need to be self-disciplined, because remember, you're not working for someone else who's going to tell you what to do. You have to bring it to the table yourself. And there are tools for accountability to help you double check on how you did, to help you stay motivated, to help you stay self-disciplined. So let's talk a little bit about calendaring. This is an example of a 411 worksheet where you would put in your annual goals. You would print this up. You would write in your annual goals, your monthly goals, and each week's goal. And each week's goal would feed to your monthly goal, which would lead to your annual goal. So let's suppose on your business plan, your annual goal is to sell 5 homes. And you know from the business plan that you need to talk to 50 people a week. Let's keep it simple. So if it's 50 people a week, that means you have to talk to 200 people a month, and it means you need to talk to 2,400 people a year. So you could plot that out here and track it here and make it down right to the weekly level for that. But maybe you want to track your appointments. Maybe you need to go on 4 appointments a month. So you could put week 1, week 2, week 3, and week 4 that you're gonna have an appointment every week. Right? It doesn't have to work out perfectly, but you want, by setting it down as a goal, you have a real direction, and that can help you stay focused on your lead gen. This is an example, a different view of the tool that is in your business plan. Okay, so the top line would say lead gen strategies. Then you'd have sphere of influence. Then you'd have maybe open houses and social media. Then we'd write the 3 down again over here in this boxes, and then your 5, up to 5 strategies for each one. That's why it's called a 1-3-5. You do not need to use this tool, but we use it in the business planning, and you might find it helpful to stay organized in your mind about your marketing, right? So the next thing I want to go over is the time management matrix. For those of you in the room, I'm sorry about all the covering things up. So you can go through your calendar and color code it, right? Yellow are urgent things that are super important. A crisis, emergency, a pressing problem, a deadline-driven project, or last-minute preparation. So what's a crisis or an emergency? If the fire department showed up here and said, you all have to leave now, that's a crisis or an emergency, right? Everything else goes by the wayside. That's yellow, right? Or orange color here. Pressing problem. You have to put together a CMA and you're really struggling finding comps. You know you promised it to your client by the morning. It's 2 o'clock in the afternoon. It's a pressing problem. You got to figure it out, comps, okay? A deadline-driven project, same idea. You have to get something done by X time for a client or for your business. Maybe a deadline-driven project is your license renewal when it comes up, right? It's urgent and important. You can't do real estate without your license. This happened to me in 2024. I had to focus 3 months in the spring where I studied for my license renewal. It's a lot of time now. It used to be simpler. Now the license renewal you have to allow time for it. It's, I forget the number of hours. It's at least 10 to 15 hours of study, but you can't do it all. You can't do it in a row. You have to spread it out and the whole thing. Last minute preparations. Your listing appointment is in a half an hour. You're going door knocking in an hour and your flyer isn't ready yet. Those are last minute preparations. Urgent and important. Now going down, we have a green box. Urgent, not important. What's an example of an urgent but not important interruption? Jack, can you think of an urgent? A phone call, but that could be a lead. A phone call from a friend wanting to know about your plans to go to the club tonight, right? Any kind of interruption that is not tied to lead gen, right? Some callers, some mail, some meetings, some pressing matters that are very important to other people, right? Fire alarms. Anyone used to work in corporate America where your boss would come in and say, okay, stop what you're doing. I need your help with X or Y. And it was not related to your main work, but you were now being dragged away from your main work. And popular activities that are deadline driven. Like, let's suppose Taylor Swift is coming to Shoreline Amphitheater and you want to go see Taylor Swift. It is urgent. She's only has a one-night show. Is it important? Technically not against your business goal, right? The red box, the box number 2 at the top, is not urgent, but super important. Preparation, planning, prevention, values clarification, capability improvement, relationship building, and true recreation and relaxation. So maybe that Taylor Swift concert goes up here, right? Preparation, planning, and prevention, that's learning. That is getting ready to go do door knocking, right? Values clarification. Knowing what you stand for is values, but knowing what your value is to others is in here too. That's why we ask you to develop a value proposition. Super important. Do you need to do it by 5 p.m.? No. Capability improvement. You guys are in this class right now. Important, not urgent. Relationship building. That is lead gen. And then true recreation and relaxation. None of us in leadership and in training and coaching and mentoring want you guys working 70 hours a week or 60 hours a week. You must allow time to rest your mind and rest your body. All right, and then there's box 4. We want to stay out of box 4. What is box 4? This is the game on your phone that you play every day when you should be doing other things. This is, oh, I'm just going to clear out my email inbox now. I'm going to clear out all those old messages. Anyway, that's box 4. We want to stay out of box 4. I encourage you, we're not going to do it today, but take out your calendar, look at last week, and see if you truly did 20% of your time in the red. Or was it mostly in box in the other boxes? Any questions about the matrix before I go on? No? Okay. So now we're going to do some calendaring virtually. It isn't real calendaring, but I'm going to walk you through a calendaring exercise. What should come first? So you have a blank slate. There's nothing on your calendar. What is the first thing you should schedule? Oh, we have a new person joining the group. Okay. What is the first thing that you should put on your calendar? Any guesses? No, in your life. Because your life is more than business. Your calendar is more than a business. It's personal and business. You have to juggle. What's the first thing you should put on this blank calendar? Work out. Why?
In the morning?
So one of the people in the room is saying that they should put their workout in the morning on the calendar first. Huh? Or walk for 30 minutes. So health and wellness. Okay. Any other guesses? What you would put first?
Prayer.
Sorry?
Prayer.
Somebody said prayer?
Yes, I did, Cynthia.
Very good. Meditation. And Cynthia,
Hmm.
what did you say?
Yes,
Which one are you going to put first?
prayer.
Oh, prayer. Okay. All right. So what did the other person online
So
say?
this is Pratap. I said to-do list for today.
Oh, a to-do list for the day. Okay. Very good. Let's see. Personal health time first. So wellness, meditation, exercise. So Victoria and Cynthia got it right. Your personal health, it's the only body you get, the only mind you get. Take care of yourself. Okay. The next thing you schedule is rest and play, your non-work. And when I say non-work, I don't mean just non-real estate work. I mean non-labor, whether you're laboring for somebody else or laboring for yourself. Okay. Rest and play. Like, when are you going to go on vacation? When are you going to spend time with your family? When are you going to go to the ball game? Okay. Then, and only after you've done that, you schedule your one thing for your work, right? And you make sure you have enough of it. So in our world, 15 hours a week for lead gen for a full-time agent and 30% of your real estate work time if you're not a full-time agent, if you do a career. That's how we prioritize this. You put your 20% work, the lead gen, as early in the day as possible. Why?
More focus, more energy.
Why?
The body.
Yeah, yeah. Your body is not wired to be as good and strength of mind and physical the longer the day gets. There's some great examples in the book. There's a wonderful story in the book about a parole board. Do you remember this story? This parole board that was determining whether people should be allowed out of jail early in another country. And they did a study and they found that in the morning, more people were let out of jail early than in the afternoon applications. Because the people were tired. They wanted to go home. They didn't want to think anymore. So you want to do your 20% work as early in the day as possible, especially if you don't enjoy it. Because if you don't enjoy it, you get it out of the way and now you can go do fun stuff the rest of the day.
Mhm.
Color code to classify your time blocks. Review your calendar every week. So this gets to Pratap's idea of a to-do list. Some calendaring philosophies I believe in. Number one, if you don't put it on your calendar, it doesn't exist. This is very true for me. People come to me and say, do you have a minute? And I say no, and I say, here's a link, send a meeting with me. If they choose not to set up a meeting with me, it's as if it never happened. Okay. So if it isn't on my calendar, it doesn't exist because I monitor my time very tightly because I only have so much of it and I have a lot to share with every one of you. If you erase it, replace it. So sometimes I don't have enough. I scheduled to do lead gen from 10 to 11, but something got in the way. Maybe I had an issue, an urgent. Maybe I had a yellow. I had an urgent pressing problem with an escrow and I needed to talk to my buyer and I needed to talk to the inspector or the lender. And so yellow overwhelmed the red. So I erased that lead gen and put it on my calendar later in the day or the next day. And it's so easy to do if you use a digital calendar. It's so hard to do if you have a physical one. That's why we recommend Google or Apple calendars. The other thing is, if you do have a lot of appointments, make sure you allow 15 minutes to a half an hour in between your appointments so you can breathe, go to the bathroom, do other things. Make sure you get yourself some spaces. That will help you to stay sane during the day. Okay. So this is a visual of somebody who's created a calendar. They've blocked their one thing in the mornings of each of the weekdays, 4 days a week. They put in their vacation. And then on Sunday is their planning. And notice Saturday is unscheduled. That's probably their day off. I recommend all of you take a stab at this. It will be illuminating.
We-
So- Any question? Is there a question?
I just want to take a picture of it.
Oh, I will be giving you a QR code at the end of this presentation that you can click on to get a slide deck.
Okay.
So you don't have to, but you're welcome to. Are you ready for me to go on?
Yes, go on.
Okay. So now let's talk about this 20%. So if we look at the calendar, at the top, you says your one thing, that's your 20% work, right? So how do we protect that time? Step one, if you are working at home and doing your 20% work in your home, or it is going to impact your family and your household, talk about it with your loved ones.
Mhm.
Discuss how important that time is and how you are going to honor each other and not ask the other one to run the dishwasher or walk the dog or feed the cats or whatever during that time. If you're working at home, make sure you have, or if you have an office or a place to work at a bigger office, you want a space that is quiet and away from potential distractions. What would be a potential distraction at home? The TV. What would be a potential distraction in an office like the one we're in right now? Yes. Yes. Yeah. Asking a question. Gee, I just started here. Can you show me how to use zip forms? That could eat up a half an hour in very quick order, right? Is it reasonable for them to ask? Oh, sure, it's reasonable to ask. Is it reasonable for you to say, I'm sorry, I'm doing my lead gen right now. I can help you in a half an hour. Don't be afraid to say no and protect your boundaries, guys. You guys, us realtors, we always want to say yes. We always want to say yes to everybody. We never want to disappoint anybody. I struggle with this a lot. One of you guys sends me a text or an email saying, I don't have this document, or can you send me this? Just yesterday, Jack sent me a request and I responded right away. It was an inefficient use of my time, but I wanted to please Jack. And what I was doing wasn't so critical, but it was a distraction. And I want to talk to you guys about distractions in a minute. Dress for work each morning if you're working from home. Okay? It makes you feel and behave differently. I don't know why. It's just something about the psychology. Dress for work. Start work at the same time every day. Now, I want to talk about dress. Okay? Some of you are dressed pretty casually in this room. I want you to think about the fact that what if a phone call came to the office, they're looking for an agent, they want to meet with them in 2 hours. Are you guys ready to go home, change into nicer clothes? Just a thought, guys. Be dressed for success and ready for success whenever it hits you. You don't know. And then if you are working from home, start work at the same time every day. In fact, doesn't matter where you're working from. Have a regular start time as if you were going to an employer's office. It will help you with this time management piece by creating a sense of self-discipline that's so hard for us, right? More tips. If you can, turn off your phone notifications. Turn off all the alerts from the games, all the news alerts. I'm just thinking about my own phone. Turn off all of the Instagram post notifications, all your bank stuff. Okay, turn it off if you can. Nowadays, the iPhones and the Androids, they have a do not disturb option. Your phone will still ring. Isn't that right? You can turn on do your receiver. You can set focuses. You can set focus modes where all of the normal alerts go away, but you still get calls. There's all kinds of ways you can do this now. It's easier than it ever was before. If you're spending an hour doing some sort of lead gen task, if you turn off your phone distractions, those phone notifications, the distractions will be diminished. Avoid non-essential email and text. Now, this is hard. I struggle with this, like the email I got from Jack yesterday. This is hard. Okay. One way, separate email address for different types of emails you're going to get. So I do have a separate email that I use for all my e-commerce. Okay. If I'm going to get a message from Costco about my delivery, right? I don't have notifications. It's going to go to another email that I don't look at during the day, unless I need to make sure it arrived before 5 because I've got some
obligation to make sure we get it today, but for the most part, right? Create a supportive physical environment. Clutter makes us distracted. If your workspace is cluttered, it will take away from focus. I know, because I have a cluttered workspace at home. I'd be embarrassed to show you a picture of my desk right now at home. It's true. Clutter makes me distracted. I look at it, and if I don't want to fix up the clutter, I get depressed about how much clutter there is that I haven't attended to. All these papers that I should have attended to. Oh my God, I can't do it. I gotta focus. I gotta focus. Advertise that you're busy. I'm going to show you an example. Learn how to say no and find an accountability partner. Did you do your lead gen? So while you're in coaching, that's me, but it could be a family member, could be a friend, could be a colleague in the program or at the office. So this is what one of the agents in one of our offices used to do when she would be busy. This is a sign on a door that has a window. So you're looking at a close-up. There's a window, like a pane of glass in the doorway looking into the room. And this is what she posted so that people wouldn't bother her when she did her lead gen at the office. Why couldn't you do this if you have office space in your home? You could do this there. I would have a conversation with the family before you put this up, but sure. All right, misunderstandings. We're going to go through things that people get really confused about. Multitasking is not really productive. This is a real tough one for me. So I'm busy, I'm working in an email, I'm composing this very thoughtful email. I get a text from Jack. I'm keep picking on Jack. Jack sends me a text. Stephen, can I talk to you for a minute? I'm picking on Jack because he actually does this a lot, right? It's okay. It's okay. So it could be anybody, any one of you. You send me a text, I want to talk to you. Okay, so I stop working on what I'm doing. I go back to the text and say, now's not a good time. Here's my meeting. Or can I call you in half an hour? Or here's my link, set up a time, right? Depends on the text, right? Then I have to go back. I have been distracted, so there is a reorientation that happens. So then I finish the work of the email I was working on. If Jack hadn't bothered me, if I had not been distracted, I wouldn't have had to go into reorientation, switch modality, because our human mind is not wired for this. That is why, by the way, that if I see an agent on their phone while I'm teaching, I know they don't hear my words. They might, because they're smart humans, be able to figure out the context of what I was talking about after the fact, but they did not hear my words or the words of the person talking. They didn't, because our minds are not wired right that way. We have to focus or we do not hear. That's this. There's no such thing as there's no real thing as multitasking. All there is switching quickly between things. People who tell you they're good at multitasking are claiming that they can switch and reorient fast. They're not truly multitasking. Next, everything does not matter equally. This takes us back to our game, our scavenger hunt. So instead of creating a to-do list, why don't we create a success list? If we take our to-do list, we itemize the things that really are our 20% work, and let that be our success measurement for the day, or the week, or the month, or the year. Another misunderstanding that people have is that they can become disciplined immediately. Oh, I'm going to do lead gen, or I'm going to do door knocking 2 or 3 days a week. I'm going to try that out. And then they give up when they didn't get leads in the first week or two. But what if you were to make door knocking a part of your standard repertoire each and every week and do it each and every week, good weeks and bad weeks, and it didn't matter, you're still going to do it. Takes 66 days for that to become ingrained. Anyone here ever try to switch from a manual toothbrush to an electric toothbrush? Anyone here ever try to start a change in their personal hygiene routine that was not maybe as much fun as the previous way they did their hygiene routine? It takes a while to get used to the new modality, and sometimes we don't get used to it and we switch back to our old thing. That's the issue. It's very hard it takes less discipline to maintain the behavior once it becomes a habit, but making it a habit. That's why they sell gym memberships in January. People make you're laughing, but it's true. People make these gyms, right? They sell you this stuff in January because you've said, oh, it's New Year's resolution. I'm gonna work out. I'm gonna make my body healthier. I'm gonna get a gym membership. And then you go 2 or 3 times and you stop. Never turn it into a habit. You never get the fitness you were looking for.
Yeah.
You're laughing because I'm right.
Yes.
Okay. There's no such thing as a balanced life. Sad to say. There are times where work is less. There are times where work is more. We are constantly counterbalancing. Okay. Sometimes extraordinary results at work require longer periods between counterbalancing, which is to say, sometimes we do have to put more into our work than into our other parts of our lives. That takes discipline and focus. There used to be a TV show called The West Wing. This is a very old show. It was in the 90s. And in that show, it was about the politics in Washington. And one of the characters on it was the chief of staff to the president. And there was a great episode where his marriage is breaking up because his wife wants him to spend more time with her. But this is his life mission to be chief of staff for the president of the United States. And he tells her, this work I'm doing right now is the most important thing. It's more important than my marriage, is what he's saying. He is doing counterbalancing at the cost of his marriage, as it turns out in the show. But he's made a conscious decision that he needs to spend more time on his work right now because that is the most important thing in his life right now. We make these decisions all the time. People who are dual career are doing this too. Dual career, real estate and something else. When they choose to not commit to real estate for financial reasons, for whatever reasons, they're doing this counterbalancing exercise. Right? Okay. This is the one that relates to the parole story I told before. Willpower is always on will call. That is false. You don't always have willpower. How many people have ever been to a grocery store at 4 in the afternoon versus going at 10 in the morning? Now, maybe you all buy your food online now, so it doesn't matter. But when you go to the grocery store in the late afternoon, when you're hungry, you will spend more money than if you go at 10 o'clock in the morning when you're not hungry. You will not buy the candy bar in the morning. Your willpower is higher. You will buy the candy bar at 4 o'clock in the afternoon, almost always. That's what this is about. So that's why we want you to do lead gen in the morning, because we know you have more discipline around it in the morning than you do in the afternoon or evening. So as we wind up, 4 things I want to share with you. First of all, set manageable priorities. Maybe you have to build up to doing the lead gen. Maybe you want to start with a half an hour 5 days a week, or 15 minutes even, and then the next week go up to an hour. Maybe you got to chunk it down, do turtle steps, baby steps towards your goals for your 20% work. That's okay. Time block your time to your calendar. If it isn't on your calendar, it doesn't exist. So it's so important you put your lead gen hours on your calendar so that you actually do it. People who write things down are more successful at getting them done than people who don't write them down. People who have accountability to somebody else for what they write down, do even better. Identify your personal top distractions and how you're going to handle them before you start your 20% work. And the last thing I want to say is that it's so important, guys, that you're gentle with yourself. We don't beat some of you are very driven people, right? You are really, really tough on yourselves, tougher on yourselves than your spouses or your kids or your parents or anybody else or me, right? This is hard work, this time management stuff. This is not easy. That's why I'm suggesting small goals build up to bigger accomplishments, and it's lifelong. I love teaching this because I still struggle with this when people send me texts and emails. And don't stop, by the way. Send me texts, send me your emails, keep in touch. Don't always reach out to me. I will find time for you somewhere. So what we have on the screen now is the QR code for this class. Okay, when you go to this QR code, it will come up with a list of classes. And then you pick the one that says how to commit to your one thing. And then it'll ask you a series of short questions. I think there's only 4 questions. If you fill out that form and submit it, then you will get, my assistant will send you a power deck, this deck. Now, we had trouble with the technology today, so there will not be a current YouTube version. But the good news is there is an old version of this presentation from way earlier this year, maybe even last year, when I taught this last on the YouTube page. So if you're looking for it that way, you can get it there, an older version, not the one I just taught, because we had the technical problem. Did everybody who want the QR code scan it?
Yes, I did.
Okay. All right, hearing no other voices. I think that's the last slide. That is the last slide. I'm gonna stop the share. Does anybody have any questions? We got 5 minutes. Does anyone have any questions from this presentation from what they've heard?
The second last line of questions.
Yeah, in the presentation?
Yeah.
The second last one, the summary? Or
Yeah,
this
the
one?
summary, yes.
No, the summary. Okay.
You say, time block, you say marking the calendar is important, and then you say having accountability, when you mark it down even better, you say something even better, I forgot. If you happen to forgot.
So, yes.
Can
So,
again?
so the first thing is writing it down. People
Because
who write down their goals do better than people that don't write down their goals.
عشان
People-
كده حاطينه درس.
So Adele, we can all hear you. People who have somebody to go over their goals with them and say, did you do the work? Do better than the folks who just wrote it down, right? People who don't do it, write it down and don't have anyone holding them accountable, do the worst. So one of the reasons why our productivity coaching program is better than strictly a mentorship program is because some mentors will not take that role around the accountability of did you do the work, whereas we do that in our program through our coaching side. The mentor's role is to help you with your deals, right? And they do a great job, but they're not the ones checking to see that you did the assignment or did the night classes or did the lead gen you committed to in your business plan. Most mentors, I want the mentors to get more involved with your business plan and know what you're trying to do. But many of them, that's not their focus, and I'm not asking them as a mandatory thing to do that. Any other questions? All right, has this been helpful?
Yes.
Good,
Thank you
good.
very much, Stephen. It was very good.
Thank you very much. Who just said that, Elena?
Adele.
Yeah. Oh, Adele.
And
Thank
me
you.
as well. Thank you, Steven.
Okay, guys.
But by the
glad
way,
you-
just a quick one. I requested for presentation slides from the last session for the taxes, and I didn't get anything.
Okay. Shoot me an email and I'll follow up for you.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Yeah, you are most welcome, guys. Have a great rest of your day. Thank you for being here. And I'll see you guys next time, whenever it is.